When you go to set up and test your keypads, if you find it saying keyboard instead of a ClickerPad base in your setup screen, you may well have a driver issue. So let's just have a quick look at where we might see the problem and secondly, how we might resolve it. So if we're going to set up and test, we go to add-ins, ClickerPad, setup, keypads. Now, if you're watching this video, you've probably already tried this and you probably already know that all that you should have to do is type in the lowest keypad number and the highest keypad number and then click on test. Now, I can happily change these, but I can't click on test. You can probably just about see that that writing is grayed out. Now, that's because it's not seeing a receiver. So if things are healthy, we would see the serial number of the receiver. You can see that on the back of the little USB receiver. You can see a sticker on there with the number. You should be able to see that. And in type, it should say ClickerPad Base V3. Mine says keyboard. So first thing to check is, did you plug the receiver in? Is there an LED lit on the back of the receiver? If there is, then in theory, it should be able to see it. The first thing that I would do is disconnect it, reconnect it, wait a moment and press refresh and see if that resolves the problem. However, in this example, it absolutely doesn't resolve the problem because I'm going to take a different step because I think the culprit might be that the drivers are not installed for my receiver. So tech savvy ones out there will probably already know that you can go to Device Manager and have a look and see whether there's a problem with a device not having a driver, but we're not going to get into that. What you will be doing is either running the setup yourself or possibly asking your IT to run the setup for you. So what I want to do next is disconnect my receiver so it's not connected to the laptop anymore, and then I'm going to go and run the driver file. So where we'll find that is in C, Program Files x86. Now this is dependent on your own setup, but this is the most common location. So then we're looking for the ppvote folder, and here, ClickerPad based drivers. And here you can see we've got one called setup. So I'm just going to run that setup. And at the end of that, I should be able to see my receiver. So what I'm going to do now is I'm actually going to just close this window and start the whole process again. So let's plug in my receiver, wait to see that the lights come on, go to add-ins, go to ClickerPad, set up, keypads, watch it scan, and there we go, problem resolved because I've now got drivers. So hopefully for most of you that's going to solve the problem. Don't forget that your next step would be to check the little stickers on the back of the keypads, write in your lowest number and your highest number. So on my desk I've got keypads numbered 1 to 10. I'm just going to grab keypad 1 and keypad 6 and just test those two just to prove that this has worked. That was the sound of me dropping it on the floor. Okay, so I've put my numbers in, click on test, grab a keypad. You can ignore this. I don't have a license on this computer, so hopefully you won't see that. If you do, it's not going to stop you testing, but please do go and watch the video on activating your license. So I'm just going to say yes, that's fine, it is correct. And I get yet another warning here to say I've got a 3 keypad voting limit. So as a customer going out to use the system, I would right now be emailing support@clickerpad.com or following the video to activate my license. But this is right, this is not a computer that we use for live voting with customers. So I'm going to press the number 8 on keypad 6 and you can see that's come up next to it, and on keypad 1 I'm going to press the number 2 and you can see that's come up next to that. So my issue on my computer is definitely resolved. What a relief. If for you that doesn't happen, the first thing to do would be contact your own IT support to find out whether you've got an issue such as USB devices being blocked, and then your IT or yourself can contact support@clickerpad.com and just let us know that your issue is not yet resolved.